Good.
Yo, pula.
Hello,
Pula.
everybody. Welcome. My name is Jonathan, and this is On the Mat. And it is sponsored today, even though we didn't talk about it prior, but a last minute conversation with Hamza in this live today.
No wonder I saw the way you parked the tractor.
Yeah. So I parked the
Maybe.
tractor, so it's going to be in the background, and I know Hamza, you might be watching this, but the rain is coming in sideways from the veranda, and it's actually quite a big veranda. It's at least 10 feet, and it's like covering the whole thing almost. So it's like no rain, and now we got all the rain.
Yeah.
So
Heavy rain.
even though there's no tractor in the background or anything, this On the Mat is sponsored by Globe Machinery. And the reason that he wanted to sponsor it On the Mat today was because he has two gentlemen visiting from Australia, and we are going to be. I say we because I feel like, like we're kind of doing things together with Globe Machinery. Are going to be bringing in a new brand of excavators. So Globe Machinery will be the distributor for one of the largest excavator companies in Asia. I guess we could say. Asia, yeah, sure. Oh, long time. Bula. You long time? Long time for you too?
Okay.
Right.
This guy is, no, I'm not gonna.
Right.
Very smart the way he wrote his name on YouTube.
Oh, really?
SONA
Yeah.
and then space LEVU.
What does that mean? All right, so guys, On the Mat is basically where we get to hang out, talk to each other. The reason I do this whole thing is so that you guys can actually like give me feedback, ask me questions. And I'm not an expert, I'm actually an idiot. And so the whole point of this is that we have a conversation, that you critique me, we have constructive conversation, ask questions about what's going on in Fiji or the world, what's relevant in business and stuff like that, and we can try to like learn together. Because I think the best thing that people can do is to have good conversations. So also throw one in the chat if the audio is okay, because it's very loud in the house right now.
Yeah.
But we got these mics on, and so it should be okay. But just let me know.
Bula lebu.
One in the chat. Throw me a one in the chat if the audio is okay. Can I come live on the farm with you guys? Maybe one day. Somebody asked. I'm looking on Instagram at some of the questions that were answered on our story. I'm going to go over here and see if anybody asked any questions on Facebook. We've had lots of people who ask if they can come live with us, but we just don't really have the facilities to. One thing I was thinking the other day, though, was we could maybe one day do like they call it like workaways in Canada, and so it's like a way for people to travel and earn money. I have friends in Canada that have traveled the world and done like without a budget to travel. So you travel to like say Fiji, and then you would work on my farm, and I would give you free accommodation and food.
Yeah.
In exchange, you like probably take the weekends off, go explore, and then make a little bit. Like usually there's a wage involved. It's just like you cut out like the food and the accommodations, and then you get a little bit of money, and you go explore with your family or by yourself. But usually people have like little dorms or like smaller accommodations. But it's very, very popular in Europe. Run is off of that or something like that. I think that's what it's called. But that would be something that I would potentially be interested in doing.
Yeah, when we move that.
Kind of a similar idea.
Yeah.
And then you can get creative with it. And like Isaiah, a gentleman who also has a big Facebook following as well in Fiji, his setup was like he would have tourists who came and they wanted to like live like in the jungle, like have a real authentic Fijian life experience. They would go to Koro and they would go up to Isaiah's farm, and they would literally like eat food in the fire, right? And like
Fish.
tabu and like just out of one pot meals, bele and noodles and all that kind of stuff. And then they would plant dalo and cassava and yangona and stuff like that on his farm. And then when the next people would come, like these people would be planting food, and then like 8 months down the road, that same food would be harvested for the next people. So it was like he was having people come do the farming, but they're also planting the food that he would be feeding people with. Right? Yeah, it's just smart. Free. And so they would come and plant on his farm for free because they wanted the experience, and they'd actually pay him.
Yeah. And they pay, yeah.
They
will
pay
him.
so not only
Yeah. And not only the farm, it's the because it was during Winston, after Winston, like their house was demolished.
oh yeah, and they
So he like wrote on his thing like if you have trades like carpenters.
so they did, eh?
Yeah.
So carpenters came,
Come
built
and
his
build the
house.
house.
They would pay him to build his house.
build his house.
We could probably do something like that too.
Good. Yeah.
See, these people that want him to come.
Yeah, actually. Okay. So on Instagram, yes, you can come if you're a carpenter.
It's like a group of like students that come from England, the big Pacific, to come. Yeah. Even like they be like two of them in one house. They pay for their food while staying in that house. They sleep. They do the work. They do
It's like the best setup ever. How's your internet? Is it working?
Yeah. It's working all right.
Mine is saying that it's not connected to the internet.
One question from
Sorry guys, I'm not on my phone. I'm trying to see if you guys ask questions. Okay.
Noah Zambe. Were you raised in Fiji or were you raised in Canada and visited Fiji as a child?
Yeah, I was. Well, as a child, I spent just as much time in Africa as I did in Canada, because, up until I was 9 years old, half of my life was in Africa, half of it was in Canada, and then we moved back to Canada for a few years, and then we moved to Fiji for 4 years, and so my parents are missionaries, and so I don't really know where is home. Like I just for sake of ease of conversation, I tell people like I was raised in Canada and visited Fiji. But there's also a time where we did live in Fiji as like when I was a young teenager. So yeah, I'm confused. Who am I? What am I?
Marginal man.
Huh? What
David.
am I?
A comment from Lavinia.
Am I a boy or am I a man?
My 13-year-old daughter absolutely love you guys and is always asking me to take her to your coffee shop for a pizza. I'm thinking of surprising her soon. Thank you
Nice.
for having such a wonderful platform.
Oh, thank you.
Lavinia
Appreciate it.
Tanaka.
Bring her over. Actually, tell us when you're coming, and maybe we'll surprise her, and we can like increase the price of the pizza or something like that. For a special, special extra 10% or extra 50%. I'm just kidding.
Buy one, get one free. For
Yeah.
the price of two.
Buy one for 200% and get one free.
There's a question from David. Bula David.
David.
Handyside.
Okay.
That's a cool name. What's your take on the Fiji Day celebration that was held in Balilevu? And do you think there should be a lot more celebration and also major games bring more there?
I actually didn't track what was going on.
Yeah.
So we didn't really know.
What did
We didn't think
what
about
were-
Fiji Day because
What were we doing on Fiji
Yeah,
Day?
we were doing some. Okay, I guess I was going to tell a story.
We were watching.
Some promotional work. Yeah, for a client. We're doing some media work for a client, and so I spent my
Fiji Day.
Fiji Day arguing with an elderly gentleman, I guess you could say.
Yeah.
About we've already agreed to a price, and it's just it was a miscommunication maybe internally in the company, and one of the founding members was not happy about what his team had agreed to pay us, and so yeah, I spent my Fiji day reconvincing people that we're worth it, and yeah. So we were doing some media work for a client yesterday, and it was good. It was just like basically everybody wants a good deal. Everybody wants to feel like they get a good deal, and so I was like asking him like, so we made a post a few weeks ago, or we made some content for them, and it was I think combined there's about 55,000 views on the content that they had made, and price
Yeah.
because he wasn't aware of it. And I asked him, so about 2 weeks ago, I was like, so how many people walk into your store like in 2 weeks? Like I said, like 20,000? No, not 30,000. I'm like, okay, like 10,000? No. 1,000? Less. I was like, okay, well, like this video got 50,000 people saw your business on this video. And so my question to you is like, what is that worth to you? And he could not separate, he still could not seem to separate like the value of views. And so this is one thing that we deal with, that you will deal with in business, is like you need to be able to provide people with value, and you also need to figure out who are the people who actually make the decisions in the company. Luckily, I talk to the decision makers and the people who are taking the company in new and positive directions. And so I'm not trying to rant. It's good. It was a good like learning lesson. I love sales. I actually don't enjoy the process as much of like actually making media content. I like the documentation stuff we do, like just of our lives, and we're good at doing the media content creation. I actually just like the sales part of it. I love closing new clients and the rush of like getting big partnerships and stuff like that. That's the part I enjoy. And then yesterday I'm like, holy crap, I'm like, I don't really like this that much. This is just really exhausting because you have to be really switched on the whole time. And so it's just a lot of mental energy that is spent, I guess, on it.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was good. I mean, yeah, everybody wants to feel like they get a good deal. And so you have to be able to help people feel like what they get is a good deal. But sometimes you can't change people's mind either.
Yeah.
Yeah. But that was our Fiji day. We were taking pictures and taking videos and stuff like that. But
Yeah, by the time I'm done too, I'm so exhausted.
yeah, exactly.
I think I'm not. I'm just really tired, like mentally.
Yeah. Yeah, because like we all play a role in this whole thing. Like we brought the kids, and so Stephanie's like making sure that the kids are happy and enjoying themselves going to the park, and so then me and Tui are doing most of the filming. And then like when I'm like arguing with people about price, Tui runs away. But then when we come home, then Tui has to organize footage. So it's like we all have our roles to play, and so like some of us, that's the thing in the team is like you need to know like, okay, you want to do my job, then you do it, and then I'll get to do the other part. And it's like no, we all like kind of have our own thing, right? And I think we're all happy with what we each do inside of that. But what else did I?
Yeah, and Steph too said she was really just tired.
Yeah,
doing
no.
all that. I'm like, yeah, it's. There's something about mental fatigue, or like you're just
For sure.
thinking about the shots and all that. And
Oh, yeah.
You're doing it, and people might see it as it's not a big deal. But once you're done, you're like, phew,
Oh yeah.
just like. That's
100%.
why I'm trying to hype myself up last night.
Oh
I
yeah,
have to
yeah.
Come back and like, okay, I need to offload this,
Yeah.
all these footages and
Organize it.
organize it and put it on. So I'm like, all right, to put on some music.
Yeah.
Yeah, just have a little something.
Have a little something and work away.
And walk the whole night.
Then yeah, I just got a kick out of yesterday.
Yeah.
It was just okay. Something I was gonna say. I can't remember it. Anyways.
Bulo, left field. Left field. Creative fatigue is a thing. Yeah.
Yeah, like I actually prefer like being on the farm and doing stuff like that because it's very straightforward. Like I prefer mental exhaustion or physical exhaustion over mental exhaustion. But mental exhaustion, unfortunately, usually pays more than physical. I guess. I don't know. Huh? Yeah.
The person who thinks like uses 60% his energy, and the one working physically uses only 40%.
Oh, is that right? Eh?
Yeah.
We got
Yeah.
Boy,
Doctor.
got freaking Alex Hermosi in
Maybe
the
doctor.
corner of that.
form.
But see, sit here. Come sit here.
It is true. Because if you had to just sit on your laptop working the whole day, and if you're doing physical work, you can come back and
Oh
still
yeah.
have energy to do things.
Yeah.
But like when you
Because you still have like mental space,
Yeah,
right? Like, because
yeah.
you're like, okay, now I can like, but like when you are switched on mentally the whole day, all your body wants to do is like switch off.
yeah.
And I don't mean like sit on the phone and scroll. You're just like, I just want to sleep. Yeah. But we also I felt like I've been not arguing, but like, yeah, I've been doing sales this week. I had to send another email to a client who wanted to work with us. A big, probably one of the wealthier local people, like local guys in Fiji, who has a very big company who's partnered with, can I say? Should I say? Well, they made a partner. They have a partnership coming up with Fiji Airways, and this has nothing to do with Fiji Airways, by the way. But they asked us to promo, and the offer was just not even close to the ballpark in like what we would charge. And so they hire like an offshore, probably media and talent acquisition agency to. It's an agency from the UK. So big companies don't handle their own marketing and hiring influencers and stuff like that. They hire other companies to hire people. And so that company got in touch with us, and they're like, "Oh yeah, we'll give you $300 to like come to Nandi and film this and then post stories." And I'm like, "Oh, you're so cute," because I sent them the full package of like all the pricing that we do.
Right.
And then they're like, "Yeah, we'd like to offer $300 for this package." And so here's my response email.
And that includes our coming and staying and all.
No, that didn't. It was just like I don't even think they know where we live. I think this company probably thinks Fiji is just like one place.
Okay.
Like you're in Fiji, like you can just go to Nandi. It's like, dude. And then he's like, we have to take a flight or something like that, right?
Yeah.
So I was like, hello. We'll say the name is Bob. It could be Bob,
Okay,
but it might also not be Bob because if we say that the name is not Bob or is Bob, if we say the name is Bob, then we could kind of narrow it down possibly on all the millions of names. So we'll call him Bob, not Bob, okay?
Bob,
Because
not
then
Bob.
he may or may not be Bob.
Yeah.
We just never know. So I said, so for the options you're requesting, I said, okay, if you want a short video, 2 Instagram stories, that'll be 2,100 Fijian. If you want a static photo and 2 Instagram stories, that'll be 1,350 Fijian. I said, we also live in Vanuatu, so we need you to fly us over to Nandi to capture this content. This would be 5 return tickets, our family of 4, and our content manager / cameraman. And since you have this promotion with Fiji Airways, I'm sure they'll understand and accommodate your request.
Oh.
Yeah,
Oh,
I already
okay.
said Fiji Airways.
Okay.
Yeah. I understand that the pricing might be outside your budget, but we would be doing a disservice to our current clientele if we agreed to do all this work for $300. So there are 3 options: fast, great, and cheap. And advertising to our audience certainly isn't cheap, which means you get speed and quality. This is achieved through employing a full-time content manager who helps us achieve our goals of building the Walker brand to the point we have in 4 short years. This has been possible by relentless amounts of content that connects with the Fijian people and our diaspora and hundreds of thousands of others around the world. We look forward to hearing from you.
Bam.
So I was like,
Nice.
well, I mean, it's like, look, like you want it cheap, well, then it will be very slow and it won't be of high quality. And so
Yeah.
like I don't want, that doesn't get me excited. I don't want to do content. Like cheap content doesn't make me excited.
Yeah.
So it's like, and I always say to people, like I would rather do one $10,000 job than 10 $1,000 jobs. And that's kind of what we do. And so I would like, and besides, like when you have people who pay less money, they're usually paying your ass anyways. And so the people who have lots of money, who believe in spending lots of money because they believe in the quality, are usually your best clients anyways.
Yeah.
And you guys see things eye to eye. They believe in what they're investing in, and they believe that it's a good, in whatever industry you're in. There's lots of people, don't get me wrong, that make money on selling cheap stuff. It's just that usually requires a lot of overhead and a lot of administration, I guess, admin work to like manage. But I'd rather do like one really high-end job, which is gonna probably be a client that's like super awesome and not a headache,
Yeah.
than like a bunch of small jobs to equal the same amount. So like,
It's quality over quantity.
yeah.
Yeah.
So like I would rather wait all year and do one $50,000 job than do like five $10,000
Yeah.
jobs even. I mean, because then like then you might work for like 4 months on your one big job, but
Yeah.
you're not working 12 months to make the same amount of money.
And I know the right clients will know the quality and will know the job that we do,
Yeah.
and they won't hesitate to pay.
Yeah, like so like if you wanna if you wanna respond to this live, it's $300 like right now. It used to be $150. Now it's $300 for people to sponsor these lives. But okay, so if you're Hamza with Global Machinery, like they have close to like 100 units now around Fiji. No other like, so what is it worth to you? Like if you sponsored one live and then that started somebody's thought process and you sold a tractor because like somebody heard us talking about Global Machinery and farm track tractors, worth it. People just look at the ad spend, and in Fiji we're not used to having to spend money on marketing. But like if people like me are coming for your clients, like one day I will do what you do and do it better than you and have everybody's attention, and then I will win. And there's more people like me coming. And so like the sooner that people like Hamza, like Pacific Energy, like Digicel attach themselves to this wave that we are, the like
Well,
the safer they are.
yeah. Well, like who's this guy? So earlier this week too, we were doing some work for Global Machinery,
Yeah.
doing interviews for
Oh yeah.
tractor owners. And one guy told me, like I asked him, like, why did you buy a farm tractor? And he was like, well, I was going through Facebook and I saw a bunch of like ads and like content about the farm track. And then I saw John, you,
Right.
like having a farm track tractor. And I think he saw that video of you doing the first video of the farm track.
Oh really?
So that's why like I got
That's
to know
cool.
about farm track and I bought one.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Yeah. So like, I mean, that was worth it.
Yeah.
I mean, Hamza, obviously, they're very smart business people. The whole Hussein family, right?
Yeah.
But it's what is, you can't spend all this money and just sell one tractor. But like he sold, over 80. I think probably nearing 100 units now. So that's good.
Yeah. It's
Return.
good because for a new tractor that people here only know like
Massey,
Ferguson,
yeah. Ford
Yamaha,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
all those trusted
brands.
brands.
Yeah.
And like when a new brand like this, they don't know of. They're like, no, we don't know if we can trust this brand, maintenance, repair, and all those things. Right?
Exactly.
Yeah. For him to sell that in over a year, and less than
Yeah, well, no, it's been 3 years
3
now.
years?
Yeah.
to sell that and have people talk about the service and all that.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, they.
And beyond like, sponsoring, or doing stuff with us, like he does work with our media company, Waka Media, and that's what we were doing the other day. And so he even believes further in content creation beyond just putting it on the Waka family page, like making customer testimonial videos and stuff. Because like I feel like he's inspired a bunch of other businesses in
Oh,
Fiji
yeah,
to
yeah.
bring in tractors. Because now we see like
The other green one.
the green one, the blue one. Yeah, there's
Yeah.
a few other brands now coming into Fiji because they're like, oh, look at what Global Machinery's doing. It's like, yeah, but you need to make sure that you have your marketing engine built up, before you do that. And so it's funny because before this all started, I walked into a Hussein, like when we first moved to Fiji, and I talked to Hamza's brother, Asif, and I told him who we were, and he was like, oh, you have a farm. He's like, actually, my brother is going to be starting to bring in tractors. So here's my card, and I was like, ugh, this is probably never going to go anywhere. And so I kept his card, put his contact into my phone, and then, yeah, a few months later, then Hamza was there, and then they had tractors. I was like, oh, wow, you guys actually brought tractors in. Started talking, and then we struck up a deal, and it's like, yeah, now we are where we are with them. I was just like, there's just so many conversations, Fiji, you're like, oh, yeah, of course. Probably won't go anywhere. And this one actually did. And it's pretty funny. It's cool. Yeah.
From Lavinia, I think it's awesome the way you promote your business just by creating your own content. That way your staff gets to enjoy at the same time.
Yeah. And so, like, that's a fun thing about what we do is that, like, we were talking about, like, the physical and emotional paycheck, right?
Yep.
Yeah. And so because of the content creation, like, we get to do some unique things as a group and still try to, like, make some sort of money from it. Like when we went to the rugby game, right?
Yeah.
Like we can make a YouTube video. Because we don't make money off Facebook.
2 months? Ship.
2 months. So that video on YouTube, because we just went for fun.
Yeah.
And then we made a YouTube video, right? But sometimes like you can do things for fun and then still make some money. So that video is made $129.08 Canadian. And so, I mean, that doesn't pay for tickets or accommodation or anything, but it's still like, I don't know, it's something.
Yeah.
What's that, like 100? But these videos stay online forever, right? So they kind of keep making money over time. Yeah, they keep churning.
Got a question, yeah. Was adjusting to Fijian culture and life in the village easy or hard for your wife?
No, I think she was ready for it because we came to visit a bunch, and so yeah, I don't think it's that hard. It's just like having to share the house. I think is probably the hardest part with like a lot of people, like not having hard. Like what is hard? I guess like I think the gap between the pain of the joy that you will get when you are on your journey or reaching your goals, striving for your goals, and the pain that you experience along the way, the gap between those two things is what we measure as hard. And so when the pain of like trying to reach your goals becomes too great, that's when you will give up, I guess. But I know that the joy of like achieving the goals is greater than the pain required to get there. Does that make sense? And so that therefore the the result of that equation is like still worthwhile because the joy is greater. We're still in the positive. So it's like it's a small price to pay. So when we talk about like how hard it is, it's like, but there's lots of things that are hard. Like waking up early in the morning to work out is hard, you know. People losing their grandmother, like down here, like the house next door to us, the old lady passed away. That's hard. So everything's hard, you know. Being broke is hard. It just depends what hard you want to choose, I guess. So I choose the right hard.
Morning hard.
No. Hey.
Too much.
Thank you. Did you open your? I put some articles.
Yeah, I got something here. All right. Bula, everybody. Bula. So, before I move on to one of the headlines here, one of the things that this conversation made me think about was, like how much pain are you willing to experience? And I read this quote once. I don't know who it was by, but it says, or this person said, when the pain required to stay the same is greater than the pain required to change, that's when we change. And so, you know, relating that to the journey, or if like you need to, okay, let's talk about it like in fitness, I guess, because that's how I can think about it. So if the doctor gives you a diagnosis and like if you don't change your lifestyle, you will end up with diabetes. And that will shorten your life. You might have a stroke or a brain aneurysm, or if you get an infection, you might die because your body can't heal. Okay, that's a great pain. So now the pain required to, like that pain or that potential pain is now way more greater than the pain of like not taking the sugar and working out and waking up early to go for walks or runs. Does that make sense? Yeah. And so the only time that because humans are stubborn and we're way better at adapting than being proactive. So very rarely will we do, it's very difficult to like wake up and work out, but we're really good at waking up and working out when the doctor's like, if you don't wake up and work out, you're going to die. It's like, okay, well then I'll wake up and work out. But it's probably like, you're already in the stage of like, it's too late, so you're trying to reverse something. So instead of being proactive, we're very good at being reactive as a species, like as a human. Very rarely through time have we ever like with AI, right? For instance, right now, we're getting to the point where people are scared about what AI is going to do. Everybody's warning Elon Musk, people who head up these big AI companies, like, be careful, like it's not going to be good. And we're all like, utilize AI, use AI, and we're not worried until AI does something crazy, like starts shooting off, nuclear missiles into Iran, and then we have, World War III, and we're like, shoot, okay, we need to shut down AI. So that's kind of stuff I'm talking about. And so we're stubborn, the human race, and we won't change. You won't change until the pain required to stay the same is greater than the pain required to change. And so just like think about, how much pain, if you want to change something about your life, whatever that is, you should probably just weigh out the equation of pain and be like, okay, this is a small pain price to pay because I might pay a way greater price to stay the same. And that's how I kind of stay motivated sometimes.
Makes sense.
Yeah? Okay.
Left field says, enjoy the suck, like they say in the
Yeah. Embrace the suck. Right?
No.
Yeah.
Yes.
You're like, You're like, Actually, I was listening to a really great podcast today that I'll play it. How about that, eh? And we can listen to a clip of the podcast and then talk about
This
it.
is the podcast from the ride. yesterday?
No, that was a terrible podcast. I finished it and I was like, I'm unsubscribing to this guy. It's so boring. Okay, so I'll play this, and if you guys can hear it, then good, and then I'll pause it because I feel like I was listening to this. I listen to this guy's podcast all the time, and I'm constantly just like, frick, I wish I had somebody to like pause. Okay, let's talk about this, you know.
Yeah.
And so today I'm like, oh, okay, I'm gonna do it. So here we go. Everybody's like, oh my gosh, tuning out. Or do you have like no viewers right now?
No. This is views there.
Okay. Here we go. Okay. So, because I like these conversations. If you guys don't like deep conversations, then I'm sorry, but I'm not sorry. Here we go.
Having a clue is overrated. There's this funny myth that people actually know what they're doing. I've spent time around some of the richest, smartest, highest status people on the planet, and let me tell you, it's idiots all the way up. Normalize saying, I don't have a clue, I'm going to work out how to do it anyway. Having a clue is overrated.
One of my green flags for intellect is someone being able to say that they don't know. Like, it's almost inverted at this point, because I think at some point during school, if a teacher calls on you and you say you don't know, you're punished for that. And so we have such a repetitive cycle of both having it happen to us and watching people like us have a punishing experience that it's very, very hardcore taught to us to never say that we don't know. But
Right?
that most basic lie trains us over and over again to never say what we actually think. And if we don't know, then that may be one of the easiest ways to start telling the truth.
Okay, so I'll pause it there. So, because I was like, oh wow, this is like, it's so true. When you said that thing about truth at the end, so this is the guy's name is Chris Williamson, and so he's doing a podcast with a gentleman named Alex Hormozy. And so they're just going through his tweets. They go through 24 of Alex Hormozy's tweets, and they just kind of like expand on them. And so in this one, this particular topic, they were talking about the power of I don't know. And so one thing that he says right at the end there is like, sometimes the greatest truth or the most powerful truth that you can tell or say is I don't know. Because I don't know is a prerequisite to learning. Right? Because before learning something and having learned it, you previously didn't know it. But if you're one of those people who's like, yeah, like, or like giving bullshit answers, so sorry, like bad, like whatever answers, that's a position of like a person who will never know as much as they could. But the person who's always willing to be like, I don't know, puts themselves in a position to learn the most. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
I wrote something here. Okay, so sometimes the easiest truth to tell is I don't know, like he said. Not knowing is really powerful because the only clear directive there is learning. And so what Hormozy defines learning as, he talks about it previously in the podcast. So learning is the same condition, new behavior. So learning is like, okay, in rugby when you pass, like you want to start and have your hands go straight across your body. If you do like a shovel pass and your hands finish high, the ball goes high and you pass like that. But if you want to have a good direct pass, it starts in the same, like it's a line, right? And so if you pass and your hands finished high, you start, throwing the ball like way up in the air, then learning how to, do the same thing, because you're still passing, you're just now doing it in a different way, right? And so it's the same condition, new behavior. So learning is, like, what is learning? That's basically what I was thinking about. It's like, okay, well, how do you define learning? Same condition, same thing, same passing, new behavior. Arms going straight across your body, right? So if learning is same condition, new behavior, then we can decide what is worth learning, because many things can be learned but won't affect my life in any way. And so sometimes if learning is like doing the same thing in a new way, then we can decide by saying, I don't know, or I don't care, because you don't actually want or need to learn anything, because we only have so much time, so much space, and not everything is worth learning about. And so it's very powerful to be able to say, I don't know, to things that you want to learn, right? Because, or the opposite of that, saying, I guess, yes, I know, or being like, I don't care to know. Because if you want to know, then you'd have to learn it, which takes time. So are things worth learning? I was just like, oh, that's like, I like the way that he broke that down.
Learning,
Yeah.
left field says learning starts with not knowing.
For sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. And it's funny how in school, like, we're all, I don't know if you guys were taught this, but like it feels like, I say this to the kids, like, don't say I don't know. Come to me with a solution. And most like really like high level CEOs and very wealthy people say that to their staff. Like, come to me with, because you don't just want to be given problems. Like, okay, if there's a problem, come to me with a possible solution, which I guess is different than somebody asking you a question and you saying, I don't know. But in school, like, were you guys in Fiji, is it like, if you say, I don't know, is that like
That rings so true because, and I guess, blaming the school system of us, the way we are now. Like, if you don't know something, but then you just give that BS. Like,
Right.
Yeah, because it started from school. Because when like teacher asks you like, do you know this? Like, I don't know. Get spanked or something.
Yeah, hey?
It's like, go and learn this. So
Do
you
the
have that-
teachers get angry here if you say, or like back in the day at least, like if you just said like where they're like, hey, Tui, Koroi, like, what's the answer to this question? And you say, I don't know.
Yeah.
They'll be angry.
You get detention or something.
Really? Yeah. Yeah. So like, well, like, what if you don't actually know? Like, if you say I don't know, then it's like your responsibility as the person who is teaching to teach the new behavior, right?
Yeah.
Same condition, new behavior. Yeah. It's just a weird thing that we're taught when we're young. And then when we get old, we like, somebody says, do you know how to do this? You're like, oh, yeah. Better thing to say is like, no, but I would be willing to learn. No, but I want to know, right? And then you can, that is the foundation for learning new things, I guess, yeah. Deep thoughts.
Deep thought.
Deep thoughts. I wrote something else down here from today.
Is that today?
I was like on the tractor, and I was listening to this podcast. Like, neutral. Take out my phone. Type this down. Like, I need to think about some of this stuff after. Oh yeah, remember how I was saying the other day, like bad things happen in 3? Because we had the tractor. Something happened with the tractor. Oh, when you were applying, right? Yeah, the battery. Simple fix. Then we had the battery in the truck, and then I went to town on the motorcycle because I had no more vehicles left, and then the motorcycle broke down. I'm like, 1, 2, 3. I'm like, wow. So we have this saying at least in Canada, where it's like bad things happen in 3s. So like if you get to the 3rd one, you're like, whew, no more. Like, it's just like, obviously, that's not true, but you feel like, okay, that's got to be it. Like, you kind of feel like you're like light at the end of the tunnel. Like So they critique that in this podcast. They're like, bad stuff doesn't happen in 3s. He was like, bad stuff sucks. The only thing worse is letting one bad thing ruin many good things. I was like, yeah, it's true, because a lot of times you just, like, well, there's 3 bad things, but we didn't really like let it get us down, and we just found solutions and got the fuse for the truck, got the battery for the tractor, and it was all good. Bike's still not fixed, but we'll look at that later. I'm like, yeah, that's so true. Bad things don't come in 3s. Successful people see opportunity in every failure. Oh yeah, this one I like. Oh yeah. Okay, so this was that whole quote. Bad things don't come in threes. Successful people see opportunity in every failure. Normal people see failure in every opportunity. Both are right. Only one gets rich. Okay. Bad things don't come in threes. Successful people see opportunity in every failure. Normal people see failure in every opportunity. Both are right. Only one gets rich. Because like I know people who are like, no, well, I don't know, like I don't think I would do that. You could fail. This could go wrong, and then like they never change. But like for a person who looks at the world and like as a from a problem solving point of view, I can do that better. I can make that higher quality. I think there's an opportunity to do something here. And like, yes, I can fail, but you don't get rich without trying, you know? And so I was like, yeah. Successful people are just people who see failure but keep going,
Keep going.
and then eventually become successful. I was like, where is he going with this? And he's like, both are right. Because there's failure and there's plenty of opportunity for failure and opportunities. But for every failure, there's a way to see an opportunity to grow.
Yeah.
And so depending on how you look at that, both of you are right. Both are right. Like I'm friends and family with some very pessimistic people who are very quick to see negative in, like first we see the negative. Always, like if you look at like a SWOT, if you're doing a SWOT analysis, so SWOT, like strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats, like in a new business plan, they always just like strengths, weaknesses chart, opportunities chart, threats, like do. They just see all threats, right? Like this is how this could go wrong. All the ways it can go wrong. All the ways it can go wrong. It's like, yes, you're right, but only the people who actually like go for it are the ones who get rich. Both people are right. Only one becomes successful. Anyways.
This question, yeah, from Mosi. Will you be sending your sons overseas for school when they are older, or will you be homeschooling online if available in your area?
Yeah, it kind of depends. I think if they are becoming like weirdo homeschool kids, then we'll probably send them away for like to be around other kids and get bullied and get their butts kicked and stuff like that, so that they can deal with society. Because like there are a lot of homeschool kids that end up kind of like a bit socially awkward, I guess.
Yeah.
But I don't think it's the school system's responsibility to raise my kids. And so if me and Stephanie feel like we can do a better job, then that's up to us. And so if it comes to a point where I feel like they would benefit, or we can no longer, afford to teach them or have the time to do a good job with that, then we could send them to school. And so if they're both like, if it comes to the time when they're like, oh, they are both very much so like not the studious type necessarily, like doctor, lawyer, engineer type. They're like entrepreneurial. Then like the best place to learn is like at home from us, and to be around other great people, and to do internships with other businessmen or businesswomen. But if they're like, I want to be a doctor, well, then obviously we need to get you, into the school system or into the university system. And so it just depends how they'll turn out probably in the next few years and what direction we see them going. Like if one of them is super academic, then I'll probably push them towards formal education. Seems really quiet now, eh?
Yeah.
Because we're doing this inside. It's time to get outside. So wet out there. Investors come with empty promises, big mouths, and no money. How about that for a quote? This is actually, okay, so this is a title from Fiji Times, all right? So Itoke Land Trust Board has noted that some investors come with empty promises and have big mouths and no money. CEO Solomon Inata said this after questioning Investment Fiji's vetting process. Speaking at the TLTB Land Use Master Plan Key Stakeholders Consultation in Suva yesterday, he said one of the biggest problems the board faced was that almost 30% of leases were not productively used. And in tourism, it's worse. Jeez. What we found out was that most of the tourist operators came with big mouths and no money. They have no money, he said. Investors who had approval from Investment Fiji received a certificate granting them permission to lease native land in Fiji. So it sounds like, okay, just looking at Denarau, all of this real estate that's utilized to support the economy of this country, most of them came from native land. The people of Fiji are still talking about the uncertainty of land tenure, when in fact, native land is the biggest proponent of the economy and the country. You going? Okay. See you later. You going to walk? You walking?
Just take a police umbrella and check with this.
All right. Good.
Okay.
Thank you for joining. Have fun and stay safe. When does Va come back?
Maybe if not Sunday then Monday.
Oh, okay. Oh. Suva. Suva Jai. Sandina. Don't be. You can stay here if you're gonna get lonely.
Oh, yo, hey, you go the ball. Limo di.
Memang nak faham.
Oi. Oi. Okay.
Yo, naka.
So he's talking about Denarau, Housing Authority, Energy Fiji Limited, and so many others in the tourism industry, and almost everywhere, even conservation. These are all consumers of native land. Investment Fiji, head of regional and trade development, Lisalan Dyer. Oh, Dyer, huh? So they no longer issue foreign investment registration certificates since July 31st, 2024, and this responsibility was now with investment promotion agencies. But in terms of looking at investments now, when we roll change, we sort of see a change as well. We are now looking at quality investment coming into the country rather than quantity. Okay, so we have people coming in with investment visas and then saying they're going to do something big and then getting leases and then not developing them, I guess. I'm pretty sure we could protect that with clauses that say that you would have to invest a certain amount of your proposed business plan by a certain date. So like if, okay, I'm going to build a $12 million, I just say make it easy, a $10 million boutique villa. Okay, well, after 24 months, you have to have invested, at least 50% or 20% of that money into the land, into the development. To kind of and if you don't, then you are forced to surrender the land back to the government. But I'm pretty sure they have that already for investors that come in. Like if you acquire land, I'm pretty sure there is like a 24-month clause that you have to spend like $250,000 by a certain date or something like this.
They can just put that in the contract.
You think so? So I don't know. This seems like a problem on the TLTB's end, not on the investor's end. Like if you need development happening on the leases and it's not happening, then put it in the clause that they have to.
We'll take it back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I'm an idiot, so I don't. Maybe it's more complicated than that though. But to me, it seems like write in the contract. If you don't put 20% of your promised investment into the ground within 24 months, then we have the right to take it back.
Yep. Yeah.
And put it and give it to the next person. Yeah. I would think like a good idea would be like a scaled investment. So like 20% after 24 months. Then after like 48 months, it has to be fully, because that would have been 4 years, right?
Yeah.
So if you haven't completed your business plan and you're, rolling in. If you haven't at least like completed your physical investment, like buildings and properties and stuff like that, by 4 years, then we take the land back from you. I guess. I mean,
That's
this
simple and easy way.
seems like it, but who are we? Who are we?
Who are we? We are
Who are you? Know yourself.
Listen, learn, and listen.
Who? Somebody said? Oh, us? Yeah. We
Lots
talk
of
lots.
TLTB, dropping the ball. This is left field.
Who?
Left field.
Oh.
Lots of TLTB, dropping the ball.
Yeah, I mean, I know there's good people inside the TLTB. I mean, I was just with a gentleman named Rusi the other day, and actually, I shouldn't say like I vouch for him, but I don't know. He did a good job. He was very clear and concise. He deals with Bua, so anything happening in Bua, he's the guy who kind of handles, I think, most of the stuff that goes down there. So every month, I think he goes down there for a week, and so I was down there with him earlier this week, and yeah, super nice guy, very helpful, and so like there's good people inside the organization. I think when you talk about things like this, it's like it's leadership, man.
Yeah.
And so I just find it ironic that the CEO is talking like this. It's like, that's a you problem, man. You know? I don't know. It sounds like this is a you problem. When I'm reading that, I'm like, so you have like TLTB pointing fingers at Investment Fiji. And then if I was in Investment Fiji, I'd be like, well, then like put it in your closet.
Yeah.
Like point, like, like this. Like this and like this, right?
Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Then bye-bye.
Okay, I think this is funny. You put this in there. The FCCC, so that's a Fiji Competition Consumer Council, right?
Competition?
Yeah, I think so.
FCC?
Oh, yeah. The Fijian Competition and Consumer Commission, has started an investigation into reports of potential price increases and supply shortages for whole bird chicken in some retail stores. The following concerns raised by consumers about rising prices and the unavailability of certain sizes of whole bird chicken. Oh my gosh, I totally disagree fully and 100%edly with the FCCC and the fact that they even exist and breathe air in the business space in Fiji. And I'm just unashamed to say that, because I don't think price control in any way is healthy for an economy, because it totally, like, they are the Competition and Consumer Commission, but what's ironic is that the only thing that they do is they destroy competition. Because if you put a price cap on chicken, then like, why would I, as an investor, potential investor, not that maybe one day, I don't know, like, want to get into the chicken industry when you can control the price? It's like, the whole reason that I would want to do something is so that like I can do it better. Like we're talking about media, like maybe I would just do, I don't know. The market will tell you if you charge too much, because people just won't buy it if it's too expensive. And then and then you have to lower your price. You know what I mean? So like when you put a price cap on things, it's like, well, if I'm interested in getting into chicken farming, feed can go up. The price to build chicken coops can go up. All of my inputs can go up in price, but like my sale price is fixed by these guys who actually destroy competition. Because like, who knows? Like maybe the chicken feed is $14 for a sack this year, and then next year it's $15. So it only goes up by a couple dollars. But I have a huge chicken farm. But then the price is still fixed. Like, well, like now I'm making less money and I can't increase my price. So like, why would I think it's just not healthy for a free market. I think the market, who is us as consumers, will tell you if you charge too much. We will stop buying it and we'll buy it from somebody else.
Yeah.
Or like, if all these guys want to raise their price, then Ian Chute has an old chicken farm that's like he's not using. And then somebody would go and be like, hey, look, I want to start doing chickens. I don't want to undercut all the competition. And then like, I'll go start raising chickens, sell them for less. And then people all start buying my chickens. Then, oh, look at Crest and Rooster now have to lower their prices because like now everybody's buying chicken at my price. And then the market will just always naturally balance itself, I think. And so I think the problem is mostly with these bigger companies like FMF and Punjas, Crest, and stuff like that, because like FMF, Punjas, they control all the flour prices. So like if you had like the two bosses of FMF and Punjas get into a room and be like, hey, let's double the price of flour, well, then that would be problematic. And that's, I think, why the FCCC exists, is because like you have a few people who control a large part of the market. But then if that happened, then people would stop buying flour, and then I would import a cassava mill, and we'd start making cassava flour, and people would start buying cassava flour, and then FMF and Punjas would drop the price on their old flour, and then people would go back to, you know what I mean? Like it would just like, it just ebbs and flows. Like people raise the price and lower the price, and we compete with each other, and we will tell you what the right price is. The consumer will tell you with their wallet. If they give you their money, they think you have good value. If they don't give you your money, so like, stupid, so stupid. He says, while both manufacturers have indicated there are no price increases or supply issues, they receive conflicting reports from retailers. Abraham says they have reported shortages and confirmed the removal of discounts, which directly impacts weekly retail pricing. He says FCCC will take decisive action against any party to be providing misleading information or exploiting consumers by withholding discounts or manipulating supply. Well, if you advertise, that is where FCCC, I think, can exist. It's like if you post a price, you have to fulfill that product at that price. Right? I think that's where a competition consumer council can do good work. Is like, hey, you said the chicken was $25. When I brought it to the till, you're telling me it's $30. That's dishonest.
Yeah.
And so that's why we would have FCCC. But I don't want FCCC controlling the price. But if you go to a store and they're just lying to everybody to get them into the store, then find people.
FL says just make anti-monopoly law instead making the agency.
What's that?
Anti-monopoly law
Right.
instead of making the agency.
Yeah, I don't know. Is there like, do people have like monopolies? Like, can nobody else import? I guess like the thing is like Fiji's such a small country. I'm sure like if you wanted to get the ability to start importing wheat flour, I bet you FMF and Punjas have so many people that know people in the government. It would be like you would probably get so discouraged along the way. To like, if you want to start bringing in like 100 tons a week of flour from overseas, I bet you like to get the clearances and everything would be such a pain in the butt, because they would have people up there bribing and blocking people. I'm not saying that's what they do, but yeah, it's possible. And so that would be, that's the hard part about in a small country. But yeah, there should be no monopolies in an open market or in a free market. And right now we don't have a free market, and so that's, I mean, it's also difficult, like even in the logging industry, right? Like we were talking at Bible study on Wednesday from 2 years ago when Dave, who has been on these lives with me, when Dave built his house 2 years ago, the price of 4x2 has doubled in 2 years. So the price for 100 super feet has literally doubled in 2 years. And when I see trucks of, pine trucks going down the road and they can only load their trucks at half capacity, it's like, well, no wonder the price of timber is going up. Because before, loggers used to be able to stack the pine to the top and drive down the road. And now they can take half, so they spend twice as much money in diesel and wages and all this stuff, and that will definitely come down to us as a consumer. And then you have the FCCC being like, you can only charge this much. It's like, well, then people are just going to stop harvesting pine eventually, and you're just going to have nobody doing it, and then it's going to become a government subsidized economy again. It's just like, it seems like really in your face with the pine stuff at least. Every time I see a half-loaded truck, I'm like, man,
Waste.
what a sad business to have gone into, because I think they're making really good money in the past, you know? And then just for like a lot to come in and be like, you can only load your trucks half full. It's like, imagine you're hauling stuff from like Mbua all the way to Lambasa, and now you have to go half trucks. Like when Pinto was harvesting my pine here, I was like, they're like, man, we love this, like this contract. Because like it's so close to Lambasa, just like go here. Like they could do 2 or 3 loads a day from here. And I was like, oh, where's your next like license in? They're like, it's in Bua. I'm like, what? Because there are sawmills in Lambasa. I'm like, man, that's got to be so painful to haul it all from like that end of the island. Thank you.
Yeah, no wonder why the prices have gone up.
Oh,
because
for
they
sure.
have to like cover for other expenses. Yeah.
Yeah. 100%. Price hikes on chicken, you know?
So that one, 4 uncapped players named in November tour.
Ooh. Okay.
No mercy.
Eh?
Who's from France?
Yeah.
Oh, the Fiji Water Flying Fijians have unveiled the dynamic squad for the upcoming November tour, blending seasoned internationals with exciting new talent. Co-captains Waisena Velevu and Tevita Ikanubere will lead the team, which features a strong core. Okay, blah blah blah. Lots of adjectives. And let's look at the team. Okay. So loose head prop, Roni Maui. How do you even say this name? Haireti? Harriet Hetet. But it's like H-A-E. Harrieti. T-I in the end. Yeah, but I always just say Harriet Hetet.
Hetet.
Levi, Hetet, yeah. Levi Natave.
HH.
And then Hooker Tibite Iknavere. Matabesi. Dolokoto.
There's 4 of them.
Ratu Penaya Dhakombau. Sir! Big Chief.
Yeah.
Lukitangi, Tawake, Korundundua, Melituni for tighted prop. No Ravai then. Got it. Nisilasila, Bode. Eh?
From the match against Japan.
Any Taurus hamstring or something?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, dude, come on. Oh, brutal. Temo mai na vanua, Ratu Leone, Rotu Solia. Oh, so this is a second row lock, so blindside flanker and Ternalangi. Oh, so this is a new one, eh? Ului na Kauvanra. Boy, plenty big, important chiefs here. Kitione Salawa and Miramira on the open side flanker. Dana Kaivata and Albert Tuisue on 8-man. Nice. At what point are we going to see... what's his name? Who met us at the... Man, I'm having a mind blank now.
Metraswa.
At the rugby game in Suva?
Taman.
Yeah. When is he going to be back in the squad?
Drua.
I think he's in Rua now.
Drua. I'm gonna play again for them.
Yeah, but the guy is so good. Like, if we can bring in people like Longanimasi, then, like, we know how good Tamani is. Like,
He used to start over.
yeah, but he plays a lock.
Lock, close, yeah.
He's kind of like a utility forward, eh? Like, yeah.
He was playing what, number 6 or don't do.
Who played our? Who was playing number 8 in the World Cup? What's his name?
Mata.
William Mata. Yeah, he's so good.
Yeah.
He was in form right before the World Cup doing that England game and everything. Okay, scrum half, Frank Lamani, Simeone Curvoli, Penny Matawalu. Yee-hee. The Three Stooges. That's what we call them. Fly half, there's only one, Caleb Muntz. Left wing, Karawalewu, Longinimashi. Inside center, Tambovo, Botitu, Valentini. Oh, wow.
Yeah, Valentini.
Yeah. Then outside center, Tetitela. Hey, come on, man. Awesome. Nadalewu Ranranra Vota and Wanga Nalanga. Wanga Nalanga, never heard that name before.
Oh, he was.
No, Nalanga, yeah. Never
20
mind.
years old. He was playing for the Ndrua.
Yeah. He just came in towards like the last half of the season.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's good.
He was playing
Yeah, yeah.
for Fiji under 20 with Armstrong.
Right,
Ndrua.
yeah. Then Winding goal, finally. Tuisova, right wing.
Just them, same.
And then fullback, Armstrong Ravula, Mangala. Mangala, who did else there? Oh, Butito's on inside center. And Drosese.
But this is good at the wing.
Yeah. Dude, this is a good team.
Yeah.
Holy smokes.
Ndrua.
Like, whoa. This is
the
a
real
very good
This
team.
is the real
Yeah.
Co-captains, we see another level in TV.
Oh, yeah. Where's Momo? Momo gone. Let me see.
I'm surprised they still
Play.
yeah,
Another
to
level?
play. Yeah,
I think it's just
another level to say.
for the country.
Like you thought they wouldn't want to play?
No, like I don't know. For you, it's like.
Oh, yeah, I just-
That's it. You guys not playing for us anymore.
No. But like the FRU said, like they don't have the power to decide who plays. That's the coach's decision, and I am fairly positive Mick Burns is a fairly independent
Yeah.
man. Like he wouldn't really care. Hello. What happens in the FRU? He's like, I know these are the guys. And besides, it would look so obvious if they did this tour and then
Those guys are not there.
those guys were not there, and be like, you're like, that would be even worse for them. So
They all want to burn that
yeah,
Fiji ranking.
exactly.
Because I saw yesterday Bulla. About them saying that they were all paid. About
They were?
Yeah.
Finally.
No, like they said they already paid.
Oh,
Captain said they didn't receive it.
yeah. So the wrong thing to do. I think like these guys want to play too because like they're on the tail end of their career. Like Nadalewu,
To show.
Tuisova, and Tuisue Ranranra. Those guys are on the, they're definitely on the second half of their career. I'd say they're in their prime, but just on the tail end of their prime, probably. And so, yeah, like, why remove yourself from, like, if you don't play out of, like, I will not play for Fiji Rugby, it's like, well, now you have no platform anymore to, like, do good things or, like, be the guy in the room who stands up in the video call and, like, confronts the FRU. You know what I mean? So, like, to me, it's a good decision on their part to still be on the team. This is a good team.
They will do anything to play for Fiji.
Yeah, like this is about Fiji, not about the FRU, and that's what sucks about whatever is true or not true about what happened with the FRU. It just sucks that this is like what we have to talk about. I don't get any enjoyment out of
When
that.
is the first game? It's in November.
Yes.
There's enough time to train and
Last game with Ireland.
You wouldn't cheer for Ireland over Fiji, would you?
I'm going to cheer for Ireland because it's on my birthday week. So I'm going to cheer for Ireland.
then you go watch the game somewhere else.
Yeah. I can't even. That actually pisses me off. I just lost all my energy. Yeah, give him 2 balls. Yeah.
Well, it's gonna be one
Yeah.
strong game. Like I'm looking at this Fiji team, like whoa, it's gonna be a nice game to
Yeah.
watch.
First game we do Scotland.
This is such a good team, though.
Yeah.
I mean, so sick.
Yes, team that ever like.
Yeah,
team
with
that ever got picked.
they're playing against Scotland on the 3rd November, and on the 11th with Wales, and then 17th with Spain, and the 24th with Ireland.
Got it. Okay, come again with that? You have the dates there?
Yeah,
Okay, what?
3rd November with Scotland, 11th with Wales, 17th with Spain, and 24th with Ireland.
Oh, wow, that's a lot of games, eh?
You're not gonna be here for the what game? First one.
I leave on the 1st, I get back on the 18th.
You'll be back for the Ireland game.
Thank you. So I have all this sky and everything here, and I can watch it.
But
I'll be
you
with
can
my
watch it
dad.
there.
But it'll be in the morning here,
Early morning.
because it's gonna be in the night.
Yeah. Right.
They're missing Leki Tangi Walu.
Oh yeah, the guy that played number 6 during the World Cup.
Oh, yeah. He had a good World Cup, too.
Hmm?
He had a good World Cup,
Yeah.
too. Yeah, he did.
Like most people say that why he got picked in to play in the World Cup, but when he played in the World Cup, it's
Yeah,
different.
yeah, I know. All right, okay, we're gonna wrap this up. Okay?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
My wife has said,
The boss.
Yeah, the boss is here.
please wrap it up. So, as much as I enjoy this, we will be back here on Monday. Will be Monday.
Yeah, Monday.
Yeah, Monday, and then yeah, we might be live again tomorrow. I'm been asked to go to a Fiji rice meeting in Limbasa,
Okay.
so I might be live streaming from there. We'll see.
Why?
And the seeds from
Hamza, because Global Machinery is sponsoring this Fiji rice thing,
Oh yeah, we should go
and
to that.
so yeah, I'll talk to you about it after. But you guys might see us again live tomorrow. So I don't know, it's in the agriculture sector, and I don't really know much about the rice stuff. So he's got a speech, so we might live stream his speech
Oh, okay.
and stuff like that.
Okay.
Yeah. Sweet. All right. Thank you guys for joining.
Monday.
My name is
Dr. Fong.
Dr. Fong. That's not my name. What?
Look at it.
And we'll see you guys back here on Monday if we don't see you tomorrow. But thank you guys for joining. This is On the Mat. And see you soon. All right. Yeah.
Mole.
Mole. Peace.